Applying pressure.
Align me. I just tried to get her. There we go. Hey.
You know, I was.
Hello.
Oh, look at us with the green background. So,
You see that? You see that? You see that? Hey. Hey. Hey.
what's up?
Yay.
How,
What's up, sis?
let's get
How
it.
are ya?
I'm good. Listen, I got no complaints up in here. I was over here vibing out to some little R&B joint and stuff. You know.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Let me get this little peak kizzle started real quick.
That little peak kizzle.
The little peak kizzle, you know. Yeah, no.
We gonna go ahead and accept that thing right there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
All right, Mr. Maintenance Man. So this is in we both life coach and I are currently in a rebate at the moment. So, any gifts that you give towards will be amazing. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Dang, trendsetter. Okay, trendsetter. I see you. Just boop me across the head, trendsetter. Thank you. Thank you, sis. I
We gonna
appreciate
say
it. It's all love,
give you
trendsetter.
a little bit of room, Tiff. We're gonna leave a little bit. Then you
Like for real. Like, yeah.
just
Okay.
come on my side. Just come on over here to my
Thank
side. No.
thank you.
Just
It's okay, trendsetter. It's all right. It's okay.
it
It's
ought to
all
be what
love.
it was, cold mom.
I guess I need to go ahead. Let me go ahead and share my stuff out to my people. So I ain't, so I'm not all the way
Tell her quit playing these games.
I'm just saying. It's okay, trendsetter. I
She
got you,
said I
sis.
wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready. But I do want everybody to be ready for this topic. So today, you get a double dose of coaching today for this Empower Hour. I am your girl, TiffaniMichelle. I am a master certified life coach, empath, motivational speaker, um, all around fun, homegirl, cool auntie, you name it. I got you. And I absolutely love helping people. And so, what's interesting though in all of this is that, sometimes it's very difficult to find like minded people or to find people who truly get you and understand you. And I have absolutely been blessed to just bump into, run into. I don't even know how I found you, but God aligned it. So it wasn't even me. It had to be nobody but God to align me. So the person who is in the bigger portion of this window here,
You said the world was trying to
I'm
take
going to
over.
let her introduce herself to y'all.
Hey y'all, it's me. Little old me, life coach 614. You know, I just come here on this app to spread positivity and joy. That's what I do, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know. So, that's
Yes.
that's enough about me. Don't worry about it. I'm certified and bona fide. Okay. We qualified. That's all you need to know. Tell
Qualified, bona fide and qualified. Thank you, sis. Thank you, Cal. Because Cal looked out for sis. Thank you for sending a little something for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I guess I should have told people that that I was doing this, but it's all good. It's all good. I put it out. If you want to come and love on me, you can love on me. It's fine. Oh, thank you for the olive. I appreciate. Thank you. Thank you, love. I appreciate. You know
fam.
what? Thank you.
Tell them it's
Thank you, baby. Thank
fam,
you. I appreciate
y'all.
it. Hey, Lady Blue. So we're gonna get started with our topic today. Coach, you wanna tell them what we're talking about today?
Pressure, baby. Listen, pressure.
Pressure.
So, y'all, listen. I had a word yesterday, y'all. Pastor Mike was on one yesterday and had me on one. Tiff will tell you I was like in her DMs, like sis,
Yes. Yes. Literally.
like sis. Like I was on it because it was it was a lot, but it was a lot of relatable information. And,
Mhm.
he definitely, Pastor Mike talked about so much. And I watched two of the three. It's three in the series, Tiff, not two.
Okay, I knew
I
about
done
two.
found it out.
Okay, so it's a third one. I
Okay,
got to find the
third.
third one.
So in this series, he's talking about, the difference in handling pressure versus taking action and applying pressure.
Applying it. Yes.
And so I was
Yes.
like, wait a minute, that right there was a whole word. Because listen, I've been handling pressure my whole life and I'm sick of it. Like,
Mhm.
get somebody else to do it, right? So I'm like, I don't want to just handle pressure. Like, I want to apply pressure. You know what I mean? Like, when you think about pressure, they say like pressure busts pipes, right? But pressure also makes diamonds. And I don't know about y'all, I'm trying to be a
Mhm.
diamond. I ain't trying to be no busted pipe, okay? Like, I ain't trying to be no broke down
Period.
busted pipe. So yeah, that's the topic for today, y'all. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So you want me to start out? You want me to do odds and you do evens?
We can, but look,
Or you want to
let me
flip?
tell you something because I was on one, so I got some notes, right? So when we talk
Okay, come
about
on,
handling
notes.
pressure, it says handling pressure refers to the ability to stay calm, composed, and effective in high stress situations. It involves managing the stress, making decisions under duress, and maintaining performance despite challenges. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
sounds like the way all of us just been living, right? We just been, as Tiff says, tolerating shit. And what happens with the tolerance, Tiff? Say it loud for the people in the back about the tolerance, Tiff. They need to know.
See, okay. So basically, what I said in my last live is that we accept what we tolerate, and what we, you know what I'm saying, and what we tolerate that impacts our growth. And so we have to be very careful about accepting things that aren't really for us, because the word tolerate, when we tolerate something, that is negative. There is nothing good about tolerating anything, nothing negative, because the word tolerate means that you accept something that you dislike, you accept something that you are uncomfortable with, and you put it on layaway, you put it in forbearance. And I really can't care for this, but I'm gonna tolerate this for the moment, or I'm gonna tolerate this in this moment. So nothing about toleration is good. So yeah. So when we attract, we oftentimes will attract the things that we tolerate, and if we accept it, then that impacts our growth and where we're
Absolutely.
moving forward.
Exactly. And it's like, a lot of times we spend all this time um we spend all of this time allowing people or showing people grace for things that they don't deserve. You know what I mean? We keep
Right,
letting people show up and do things to us and hurt us and treat us so any kind of way, and we like, oh, it's okay. I'll tell them next time. Ultimately, we're the ones suffering, and they're the ones running around living their happy life. You know what I mean? So that's why
right.
it says like tolerate. To tolerate something, nothing good can come from tolerating things, right?
Nothing.
If you're raising children, hey MJ, if you're raising kids and your kids are being bad, you don't tolerate them being bad. You discipline them. You redirect them. You know what I'm saying? So when other people show up in your life just serving you whatever, how dare you just sit and handle it without
Right,
actually handling it?
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
So then it
right.
says applying pressure involves creating a sense of urgency or importance to influence a behavior, decision, or outcome. It can be used to motivate, persuade, and achieve goals. Y'all, listen, if that right there don't make you want to apply some pressure, I no longer the word handling just can no longer be in my vocabulary. Like, I don't want to handle anything, because when I think about handling, it means that I'm coping. It means that I'm tolerating the things to just go as they are with no goal in mind, no purpose. So I'm applying pressure for the rest of the year. So y'all better be careful, because honey, Pastor Mike got me on one, and I will no longer be accepting, tolerating, or handling anything. Get somebody else to do it, because I'm applying pressure, honey, because I'm making some diamonds over here. So
Come
yeah.
on now. Come on now.
All right. Come on
Come
with
on
your
now.
little odd self. Come on. Come on with your little odd self. Let's go.
Yes, yes, yes. So we got a list of things that, like there are some tips, and we have top 10 tips on how to apply pressure and effectively just stand on your business. We got, I want to thank the little baby, the Ti little baby. He looked like his mama, y'all. He looked like a little rat. I ain't talking about. I'm not talking about nobody. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. I appreciate the little baby for saying that he was standing on business, because that really literally did create a culture of standard, right? So I appreciate it. So there are 10 things that we came up with to kind of help you apply the pressure and ultimately be able to stand on business. So the first one is setting clear goals. Setting clear goals. And we talk about goal setting all the time. We talk about goal setting, setting your goals. And but I wanted to take it a step further, because I am still a professional woman and still working you know, in corporate America, I would say. There is something when we talk about setting goals and goal setting. And right now, I have staff members that I have to, do their performance evaluations. And one of the things that we talk about are setting smart goals. And so this applies the same way here, setting smart goals. But to set clear goals, clearly define what the objective is and what you want to achieve. And this will provide you direction, and this will provide you with purpose. But the thing about SMART goals is SMART goals, meaning that it is specific,
Specific.
it's measurable. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you can that you know is measurable. It's something that you can apply. You know what I'm saying? It's relatable. And you know what I'm saying? And it's something that will get you to your target. It's tangible. So it's so important that when we set goals, we have to set goals that make sense. Like, it's one thing to say, "Oh, I want to be a millionaire," but what are you doing to align yourself to get to being a millionaire? How? How are you going to do it? Right? Or, what are the steps that you're going to do it? Are you putting some measurable outcomes behind that? I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna set up my website in the next 30 days. I'm gonna, what I'm saying? If you're selling a product, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I get I'm gonna get my products. All right. So we got our products. Okay. Now I'm gonna make sure that I market my products on social media and create a social media platform. So you gotta make it so when you're setting goals, it's gotta, hey, we paid mom. So it's gotta make sense, right?
Right.
So that's the first thing. To apply pressure, you got to set clear goals.
Exactly. Exactly. And with that, you've got to stay on it. So you can't say you are special, Ricky, very special. We love you. You can't just say, oh, like Tiff said, oh, I want to achieve this. Oh, I want to do this.
Thank you.
Oh, I want to sell this. You got to do more than talk about it. You got to stand on it. Like we said, standing on your business, right?
Yeah.
So that brings us into number two. Thank you. That was pretty dope, Ricky. I ain't never seen that one before. Okay, I'm focused. My bad. Uh, Ricky done flew me out, girl. Okay, he done just flew me out. Pause.
And got the wildest. I'm a little jealous. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little jealous, but it's all good.
We love you.
Y'all know it's
We love you. Okay, so listen, we got to be persistent, right? So we got to set these goals, but we got to be persistent.
thank you, Mr. J.
We got to show up. We got to be consistent in what we do. And so, you got to be willing to keep pushing forward. Because again, if you're going to apply pressure, you can't just be like, these are my boundaries, these are my goals. No, you got to be like, listen, I said, this is my boundary, this is my goal, this is what I'm going to do, this is where I'm going. So then that way, when people show up with foolishness and the fuckery, and you like, ooh, I want to go out, I want to do this. Nah, I can't go out with y'all. Nah, I can't do this. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can't go here and I can't do this because I got a plan. And I can't be in the club with y'all all night because I got to get up real early in the morning and handle my business, right? So we got to be persistent, understanding that persistence is the key to us overcoming challenges, overcoming obstacles. Persistence is how we break that chain. Persistence is how we get out of that cycle that has held us down and kept us, you know what I'm saying, handling business, handling pressure. So, I mean, again, like you got to keep fighting, you got to keep going, even if that means, thanks, Portia, even if that means, I don't get this right. Or let's say we set the SMART goal. Just because we set the goal doesn't always mean we're going to achieve it within the time frame that we set. So we've got to be flexible. And we've got to be willing to say, you know what? I had this goal, but things didn't kind of work out. I said I was going to do this in 30 days. I'm going to go ahead and add another 2 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and add another 30 days because I've made some progress. But in order to get over the finish line, I got to be persistent. I got to keep going. I got to keep fighting. So you want to make sure that you don't give up because again, if you're applying pressure, right? If you're applying pressure, then that means you've got to be willing to keep going. And that means you already know you're about to go through some stuff. We all know that anytime we set a goal, we're going to go through some hell. We're going to go through some mess on the way, but you got to be willing to just keep going, you know, 10 toes down, standing on your business. Look, this is what I got planned. And I would hope that before, if we back up to that goal setting, hey, Miss Tila, if we back up to that goal setting, we should say first and foremost, you better pray on it. Because anytime
Yes.
you want to do something new in your life, anytime you want to do something better in your life, you're going to have to pray on it because, honey, the devil and his affiliates and associates are going to show up and they're going to show the hell out. So you better pray on it so that way you really truly understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and you know what I mean? So that way that can keep guiding you along the way. So first and foremost, with any type of pressure, you better add some prayer to whoever you
Mm.
believe in. You listen, I don't care if you pray to the tree in the backyard, baby. You better pray. You better pray to something.
Right, right, right. So the next point is in all of this, even with your prayer life, even with being persistent, it requires a level of organization. So that's the third point, that you have to stay organized when you are applying pressure. Maintaining a well organized plan. A well organized plan. Hey, Lo. A well organized plan. A plan, a schedule to manage your task effectively and to ensure that you stay consistent. The thing is that a lot of times it's not that people don't have great ideas, right? It's not that they don't have, that they don't have a vision in place, right? In most cases, the reason why a person is not successful in their goal, in reaching and obtaining their goal, is because their lack of organization and their lack of consistency or persistence, as my sister said. It's because you are not organized. If you say you want to run a business, you want to open up a restaurant, well, there's certain things that you're going to need to have in place to ensure that you have food for the restaurant. You got to stay organized. Let's say you want to make a thing of macaroni and cheese, right? You know how you gonna make macaroni cheese and you haven't placed the order for the noodles. You don't have no noodles. You want to make mac and cheese, but you don't have no
No
cheese.
cheese.
You
So you
don't
got
have
macaroni,
no.
no cheese?
You got macaroni and no cheese. You got the noodle but no cheese. You know. Okay, even better. You want to make the macaroni in your restaurant, but your oven broke and your oven ain't working. Where they do that at? How you gonna make it? You gonna make the stovetop macaroni. That's obviously what you gonna do. Cause you ain't gonna make the nice bubbling, one in the pan that I'm used to down here in the South. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I mean, so right. Mr. Jackson, I'm just saying, right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So you gotta stay organized.
That's because they
Yeah.
messy and they not doing what
They
you.
messy.
They not
They
running
messy.
the business that pay them,
They
baby.
messy. They messy. They messy. So again, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you, Lo. So, you have to be organized. And organization means that's just like, okay, even preparing for this random PK, which we started doing, coaching now, we organized. We was like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. Okay, let's throw out some topics. Let's do some research. Let's do some things to try to be, so that we have a flow of even what we're talking about on here. And I'm not saying that everything in your life has to be that way, but at least the most important things to you has to have a level of organization.
Right.
There are iPads, there are cell phones, there are, so many different apps and things that we do. Or you could do the good old fashioned way and get your notebook and write down some notes. The same thing to remain organized in the process. We gotta, we gotta do that. We gotta do that. And unfortunately, too many of us aren't doing what we need to do to remain, organized.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that all of these lead up to each other, right? So when you think about
They
your
all
lack of
do.
organization, think about anytime you've ever stepped out to do something, right? And you weren't organized for it, you weren't prepared for it. That affects your confidence and your ability to even be able to do it. So a lot of times we will bite off tasks, we'll bite off projects that we are definitely qualified for, right? That we
Mhm.
take on these jobs and these tasks that we can do, but because we're not prepared, because we're not organized, you know what I'm saying? Because we too busy being in other people's business and not so much our own business. Then when we
That
show up,
part.
now we lack the confidence. Listen, I
Oh,
said they ain't minding
y'all
the
see,
business.
y'all,
They ain't
y'all,
mind
y'all see my shirt. Y'all see my shirt. Hold on. Y'all see my shirt. Y'all see my shirt. You
minding
see
the
my shirt.
business. That
Wait.
ain't
It say, mind the business that pays you. I'm
listen,
just saying. I'm just.
absolutely.
I'm just saying.
And so because of that, now all of a sudden we show up and we got all eyes on us, right? They done sold the tickets. They done promoted the event. Now all of a sudden you on stage and you over there like, yeah. And so, um yeah,
Oh, Lo, is your
I,
favorite color? See,
I know,
I wore this for you girls.
I know I got some notes somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Now
Somewhere.
you done lost everybody's attention. You done sold them a dream because now all of a sudden you ain't organized. And so now all of a sudden your confidence starts to dwindle.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then
Right.
like, how can you motivate someone or empower someone or encourage someone, right? How you gonna sell the macaroni and cheese that you done finally made, right?
Come on now.
But then everybody
Come on now.
the fact that okay, it's not the cheesiest. Now they advertised it as being the cheesiest. It doesn't look like the cheese. I don't even see no cheese. The edges ain't burnt. Now they said this was slap your
Mm,
mama mac and cheese.
mm,
I guess I would
mm,
slap
mm.
my mama.
It's a little dry. That macaroni a little dry.
I would
That
slap
mac.
my mama if she served me that mac and cheese. So they ain't lie there. No lies detected there. But it's not the cheesy. I've seen Velveeta cheesier than that. Uh, so now it's like all of a sudden people are gonna start to call you out. You know what I mean? So being organized
Welcome in, Kevin.
is gonna be what it takes to actually build your confidence. Like Tiff said, yes, we're both very much qualified to just push the button and talk about this, right? However, we're tag teaming. So even though we could just push the button, be random, and still bless y'all, that's not purposeful. That's not intentional.
Right.
So then we running around
Right.
trying to figure out what do we talk about next? What do we talk about next? I'm depending on her, she depending on me. We like, what do we do? Yeah, we could do that,
Right.
but why? When we have the opportunity to plan ahead, right? And so that builds our
Right.
confidence. So when we push the button, everybody like, oh yeah, they on it. They got it together. You know what I'm saying? Like they know what they talk about. Yeah, because we talked about it in advance. And just so y'all know, back to
Right.
what I said before, we definitely prayed on it because, honey, this was not today's topic. But then there was a little
This
prayer
really
that
was.
took place. There was a little prayer that took place, and this topic shifted and evolved. So I mean,
It
again,
shifted and evolved.
Exactly. And so that's what makes you confident, right? Because you plan ahead, you plan accordingly. And so then now you already know what, your topic is. You already know what the job is, what you've got to do. Now you're confident, you believe in yourself, you believe in your ability. So now when you get up there and you say what you got to say, or that you're selling this product or whatever it is that you're doing, now all of a sudden you're able to assert yourself and you're able to put some respect on your name. You know what I mean? So it's like if I wasn't confident, I would be like, yeah, I'm life coach 614, and I'm a self care life coach, and hell no, I got too many certifications behind me, baby. My name is Life Coach 614. I serve positivity on
That
purpose,
part.
but I do all day, every day. If you don't know, now
That
you know.
part.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
Now
act
you know. Yep.
exactly. So you
Yep.
act different. So you want to make sure that like she said, you're staying organized, you're being prepared. So then that way that helps to boost your confidence and build your confidence. Because don't nobody want nothing from a person who don't even seem like they sure they want to sell it, give it away, preach it, teach it, whatever you doing. So
Which is a great lead in to the next point about effectively communicating. OMG. Like, and not just effective communication also comprises of understanding and comprehension. I used to always talk about that. When we talk about relationships and things like that, and we go through this process of I want to have a man that can communicate well. Well, yeah, I want that. But I also want a man that can damn comprehend.
mm-hmm,
So applying pressure means that you know how to communicate, but more importantly, that you know when you should communicate and what you should communicate, and being able to receive it from others. Clearly and assertively communicating what your expectations are, what your needs are, and most importantly, what your boundaries are from others.
period.
Because unfortunately, a lot of us, we want to apply pressure, but we have not clearly articulated what our expectations are when we apply the pressure. I can talk specifically about relationships, right? In relationships, yeah, I absolutely want a man, right? But I just don't want a man just for the sake of having a man. My ultimate goal is, yes, I would like this to be my lifetime partner. I want to build. I want to, establish longevity and sustainability for the I would say the second half of my life, because I'm nearly 50. So I would say that I'm on the second half. And so I would want to be able to establish partnership. So I have to clearly articulate what those expectations are, and what my needs are, and more so what my boundaries are. So even so, if you are trying to apply pressure, well, baby girl, homeboy, I'm gonna need you to be able to communicate and be able to share and to be able to establish what it is that you need, but more importantly, what is it that you need to be able to be successful? What is it that you need to position yourself for the highest level of success? That's the key. That's the key.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta definitely say what you mean and mean what you say. Like
Mean what you say.
exactly. And boundaries are a big thing that we all struggle with. And so we've got to learn how to let our nose be nose. And stop sitting on the fence with these decisions, because ultimately our mind is already made up. So we need to let our mouth and our body follow, because our mind
That's right.
already said no. Our heart then already
That's
said
right.
no, but we over here like, well, that should be okay. Girl, sit down. It's not okay. You know it's not okay.
Sit
Stop.
down somewhere. Sit down somewhere.
Sit down. Have several seats. But but
Several.
even then with that, with our boundaries, with our communication, we have to be adaptable. We have to be flexible. Which is our next tip. Adaptability. You have to be flexible and ready to adjust your strategies as needed, keeping your goal in mind. So when you're making a goal, yeah, it has to be a smart goal, but you need to first and foremost make sure that that goal aligns with your purpose, right? With
Yes,
with what you believe in. It has to be something that you're willing to stand up for, that you wholeheartedly believe in. Otherwise, what's the point in having this goal, right? Like, why are we doing it if it doesn't align with our spirit? So, if you
hmm
have something that aligns with your spirit, that's what keeps you motivated. So, as you start going through all the hell and all the mess to achieve this goal, you already know, yep, I'm doing this because this is what God has called me to do. This is where I'm headed, and I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So that way, as I'm going through all of this mess, all of this stress, all of this heartache, like Tiff used herself as an example. Ultimately, she's looking for a monogamous relationship. She's looking for her partner, her soulmate, right? So she knows that ultimately, this woman knows that she's a wife. She knows she ain't a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm
she
not a
knows she's
girlfriend.
a wife. Therefore, as she goes through these relationships and she has to deal with a little bit of mess and a little bit of stress and maybe an occasional heartbreak, she knows that's okay. I'm going to just get back up, dust myself off, and I'm going to try again because I'm a wife,
Right.
which means
Dust
her,
yourself
her
off and try again. You can
absolutely.
dust enough and try again.
And so, she knows that. So she has to be flexible and understanding that, okay, just because she knows she's a wife and she knows who she is, she knows her worth, she knows that she wants someone else who values her worth, and she knows that she wants this person to also be worthy, right? So, but at the same time, she has to be willing to be flexible. So, like some of us, we cry because we want a man, y'all. Y'all want a man, but then y'all want a man, and he has to make this much, and he has to drive this car, and he has to live in this house, and he
Yes,
this. No, baby, listen. Some of y'all soulmates was the boy who work at McDonald's who catch the bus every day.
that's right.
Baby,
That's right.
listen, you better get them free fries and them double cheeseburgers from that man. Because for some people, they don't understand that, you come in with this itinerary and you focusing on the wrong things. Right? So sometimes we gotta be a little more flexible. I'm not saying that, you gotta just fool up with the first person who show interest in you, right? You
Right.
if that was the case,
Right.
to be married every day because everybody wanna try.
Every day I have me a new husband, child.
And so everybody gonna come in and try to compliment her and love on her or whatever.
Right.
But that don't
Right.
mean that each one
Right.
of them is the one. We not settling. We not settling for people, but we have to be
That's
flexible.
right.
We have to be willing to adapt to things, and
Mhm.
situations, understanding that, okay, we might have set this goal for 30 days. Well, I'm on day 29 and I know in the next 24 hours this ain't finna get done. So I need to adapt my goal. I don't need to give it up.
Yeah.
I just need to say, what? Oh, that's cool. I was 31 days. I was a little short. I could do it in 31
Right.
days. I could do it in
Right.
32 days.
Right.
So you got to be willing to
Right.
be flexible and adaptable in all areas of your life, but not
Right.
to the extent of sacrificing your boundaries.
Mm.
Okay. So it's like, I
Oh.
got to be, I got to be willing because, like, I don't want you to be tolerant of things, right? So I've got to be willing to pivot. I've got to be willing to adjust a little bit, but not at the
Mhm.
cost of sacrificing my peace, my sanity,
Yes.
health,
Yes.
my wealth.
Yes.
Saying, like,
Yes.
I'm not going to just keep going and going and going if it makes me, lose me. If I've got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, if my morals got to be thrown out the window to achieve it, I don't want it. Like, I'm not about to sell my soul to the devil just for fame, just for
Mhm.
fortune. Like, that's
Right.
what I'm not going to do.
Right. 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 And saying that, that goes to that again, all of these points lead so well into each other. But that could just be our delivery, how we just flow with stuff. Because the next piece would be, how do you network and how do you build relationships? And networking and relationship building is so, so, so important. Whether it's here on Bigo, whether it is in your personal life, we have to go out and join ourselves and connect with people who will help us obtain whatever our goal is. It will help us be able to apply the appropriate pressure and allow us to stand on business when we connect with the right people. I led off this chat, this PK, by saying I just aligned myself with life coach because I don't know if I came in her room first or she came in mine, but I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Yeah, that's right. You said you came into mine. So I was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. But it was a result of someone else coming in and saying, hey, this person is amazing. I feel like you should connect to her. And that's what it is. And welcome in everybody. Thank y'all for coming in. This is so y'all make sure y'all gifting. Y'all throw a little something something just so y'all see I'm tearing. Y'all see I got tears, y'all.
Take us off
Y'all
zero.
see I got tears. Take me off. Take us off zero. I don't want no more tears. Okay. Okay. But networking, cultivating strong personal and professional relationships to gain support and to open up new opportunities. Like, and especially, and we can talk, since we're on Bigo, we can talk about Bigo. You know, the whole thing about, and we laugh about cruising the Bigo streets because, and sometimes you got to cruise with caution. But what I do know about Bigo is Bigo provides an algorithm and will kind of send people or connect people your way based off of your viewing habits, right? So if you always looking at fellas, if y'all always looking at the girls that's got their clappers out and they half naked and half dressed, 9 times out of 10, that is what you're going to see on your algorithm, right? But if you want to see a more professional wifey material, what I'm saying? You want to see, some of the more intellectual or the solid women, on the app, you're going to have to do more of looking at them, gifting them, or even if you don't gift them, what I'm saying? Send the free exclusives or tap the screen when they're in the lives so that changes your algorithm. So networking is key. In order for you, and that goes back to what I said, in order for you to grow, right? In order for you to have growth, you have to look at what you attract. What are you giving off? What you may, a lot of people use the term, oh, I'm manifesting in the law of attraction. But if you messy, you gonna attract mess.
Period.
If you're mean and hateful, guess what? That's what you're going to attract to because that's what gravitates to you. So be careful in even how you connect. Hey, Slide, hello, hello, hello. How are you, my love? So we have to thank you, Mr. T, my brother. I appreciate you. So you know you have to be very careful even who you align yourself up with. I posted on Instagram and I also posted it on here. I was prepared on Saturday. I was preparing to go and celebrate the birthday and the life of a very good friend of mine. Hey, Amethyst. Thank y'all so much for coming in. A very, very good friend of mine. And God spoke just as clearly. He said, there is strength in numbers. There's strength in numbers. And I posted the video clip on Bigo. And I was like, typically I was like, okay, well, I'm getting ready for a birthday celebration. Why you telling me that, God? And then it was just like he was connecting the fact that I was loving and celebrating a person who was in my circle. And I was prepared, I was providing strength to her and celebrating her because when I moved to this city, she was one of the first people that I met at the Big Lots, and she has been loving on me ever since.
Right.
And so I found it not robbery, even though I literally had to drive 4 hours back just to come to celebrate her. I didn't feel displaced or two. I didn't, my, how I felt did not warrant me to not show up for her in that moment. And so that's what networking and building relationships is. You give the best version that you can give to that person, and they equally give their best version of themselves back to you. And so how do you, and so those are the things that allows and helps you to cultivate strong relationships, and that aligns you with your ability to be able to not just handle the pressures of the world, but to be able to apply pressure right back to this world and say, okay, yeah, you threw this foolishness at me, but guess what? I got something for you too. And so aligning yourselves with the right people to help you when you are weak is so important. Even, and me and life coach will both say this, even we as empaths, we as helpers, we as healers, sometimes, well, guess what? I got news for you. We become low frequency. We get on those low frequency vibes too. We
Absolutely.
get low. We get discouraged. We get weak at times. Some of the strongest people are honestly some of the weakest people, internally. Because why? Because we set our feelings, we set our emotions, we set our, what we're going through to the side because we see that we got to help somebody else. So we oftentimes neglect ourselves, and so how do we balance that out? It's by the people that are in our company. It's the people that's in our circle. Speak back to us.
Absolutely. And that reminds me, one of the things that I pulled from Pastor Mike's sermon, I remember I sent it to you. It says, some of us miss our blessing because we think if we ain't driving, we ain't going nowhere.
Yes.
Baby,
Yes.
listen, I'm like, hold on, Pastor Mike, say it again. What does he say, Michael? Mike,
Michael.
listen.
Michael.
He said, some of us miss our blessing because we think if we ain't driving, that we ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere.
Baby, listen.
Baby.
Then he said,
Baby.
then he said, some of us think we're failing because we allow people to place us in the wrong position.
Mm, mm,
See, I didn't
mm,
even send you
mm,
that one. I was waiting for you to go find that one on
mm,
your own, but now you know.
mm,
So listen, when we allow people to place us in the wrong position, it means accepting or being placed into roles, responsibilities, or situations that do not align with your skills, values, goals, or potential.
mm, mm,
So
mm, mm.
a lot of times people will dump stuff on us. People will throw their mess at us because they be like, oh, she could do it. They done prepared the others, and guess what? You the others, right? So they'll throw all their mess, all their stress on you. And now all of a sudden you feel like you're failing because you had a plan, you had a goal, but you can't even get to it because you're so busy managing everybody else's mess and stress. As Tiff Sir,
Mhm.
you ain't minding the business that pay you. You see what I'm saying? So it said, again, some of us think that we're failing because we're not getting our stuff done because we've allowed other people to place us in the wrong position. This job, this position, this relationship, this friendship, this situationship, this entanglement, whatever it is, ain't serving us. But we didn't allow
Ain't serving us.
somebody else to give us a title like side chick or they done demoted you to baby mama as if you ain't the giver of the life, right? They done demoted you to the baby mama. Or how about this? I told you my sis Tiff, she been a wife since she was born. They want to be like, oh,
I've been away.
she's my girlfriend. She ain't your girlfriend. She a grown ass woman, dog. That's somebody else's
That part.
wife. You'll
That part.
revisit that later, sir, when you recognize she could have been
That,
your wife, but you was too comfortable with her being your girlfriend with your little petty.
that part.
So I'm just saying,
That part.
we gotta just sometimes shift the way we thinking, um, and the people, because I mean, again, we can't just want to hang out with people and connect with people for the sake of connecting with people. You got to connect with the right people. You got to be in the
The
right
right
circle.
people.
Being in a group of people,
That's
sitting
right.
in a room full of people is not going to necessarily bless you. But baby, if you sitting next to the right person at the right time, oh, it'll change your life. And that could be for
That's right.
better or
That's
for
right.
worse. So you got to be careful
Yes.
and mindful of.
Yes.
And I think that leads us
Yes.
to stay informed. Look, You
Mm-hmm.
cannot just get
Mm-hmm.
comfortable in what things are now. You can't get comfortable in the knowledge that you have now. If you think about it, what if we would have remained comfortable in that kindergarten education? There's
We
a
still would
reason
be
why,
singing, "Oh, MacDonald had a farm."
right? I was
We
still
still would have been EIEIO.
listen. I was like, and I still would have been bingo, bingo, okay. But listen, we there's a reason why Tiff made me cry. It's like, no, there's a reason why, in grade school, we start off as
Thank you, Mr. T.
and we graduate. Thank you, Mr. T. We graduate, to the 12th grade level. And then you can stop and you can be comfortable. There's no harm in it. Get your diploma, honey, live your life, right? But some of us choose to then further that education, whether it's some sort of trade, certification, or going to college and getting an additional degree, right? You have to stay informed. You've got to constantly be evolving, constantly be educating yourself. Otherwise,
Yes,
you're going to fall for yesterday's foolish just
yes,
like I don't even know what to say. Every day
yes,
there's a new scam born. There's a new hustle, right? And so you've got to be on your game. You've got to pay attention to understand the new technology. I'm not saying you need to know every single thing about everything, but you need to know a little about a lot of things. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? You need to know
Well,
at least a little bit about
yep.
a lot of different things.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a
if
little bit.
all you know is ABC and 1, 2, 3, baby, when they come in like uno, dos, tres, squash, you like, huh? Huh? What is that? Right?
I don't understand. Hi.
Yeah.
Mm,
You're like, oh, that's cute. Yeah. You're like, yeah. And they're like, sign over
yeah.
to your house. And you're like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, no. So you got to stay informed. There has to be some level of, like, I'm a person, I don't like to watch the news. However, I definitely know what's going on in the world around me. You see what I mean? So it's like you've got to figure out ways to still stay in the know, stay up to date. I'm not saying you got to go out and build a computer, but you need to understand what the newest technology is. You need to understand
Yes.
what's going on. Yes. Otherwise, somebody gonna show up and they're gonna sell you some swampland in Mississippi, and you gonna move your whole family out there talking about I'm finna build us a house. On what, baby? On what? What?
Right.
There is no foundation to be had here. On what? So yeah,
Right.
stay
Right.
informed. Keep yourself updated with relevant information and trends in your field. For all the content creators out there, y'all cannot constantly keep showing up serving the same old, same old, same old, same old. You got to tweak it. You got to twist it. You got to be creative with it. And in order to do that, you have to stay current in your field. So whatever it is you're talking about, even if DJs can't keep coming back every single day and playing the same set. Don't nobody want to hear that over and over again. It's not a broken record.
Yeah.
So they got to keep changing their music. They got to keep listening to new music or going back and finding more old music or mixing this in or figuring out what equipment makes this sound better. You have to evolve. So again, stay informed. Make sure that you are evolving. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. And before we get to the next point, I wanted to go back to when you were talking about with Pastor Mike and how he was saying that sometimes we allow people to put us in in the wrong position.
Mhm.
But I wanted to take it a step further, that sometimes we think that we deserve a position that we are unqualified for.
Ouch.
Sometimes so using myself as that, because I ain't gonna talk about nobody else, I'm gonna talk about me, right? Life coach or here, we've talked about the fact that I want to, I want to be a wife, right? And life coach said, well, Tiffany was a wife since the day she was born, right? Okay. So with saying that, if I want the position of being a wife in a monogamous relationship that is happy, that is prosperous, that's gonna go somewhere. Well, guess what? I gotta be qualified for that role. I
Mm.
can't be having I can't be out in the street. I can't be for the streets. And
Right.
I'm talking about I wanna be a wife. You get what I'm saying?
Ab-
So oftentimes we feel that we're qualified. We feel that we deserve, and or we feel that we deserve positions that we are not qualified for.
right.
Period. So that's why you have to stay informed. So staying informed is also making sure that you know the true version of you to be able to be in that position. And going into the next point on focusing on solutions when it doesn't. How do we talked about, so we're going to run through the list again. We talked about setting clear goals, right? That was tip number 1, setting clear goals. We talked about being persistent. We talked about being organized and staying organized. We talk about having confidence with everything. We talked about how to communicate effectively, right? How to be adaptable, how to network with people and build relationships, staying informed. And so now we're talking about focusing on solutions. Instead of dwelling on the problem, instead of wallowing in your sorrows, get up and do something. What are you going to do to find practical solutions to and taking decisive action? I like decisive, meaning I like that word. Decisive. Decisive means that I have decided, it is intentional, that this is what I'm going to do to fix this situation. Okay,
Absolutely.
booby? That's
Absolutely.
what this situation is. And so, unfortunately, there are a lot of people. Thank you, my love. I appreciate you. There are a lot of people who focus on the bad side. They focus on the negative and not focusing on the positive. I'm not gonna wallow in my sorrows. I'm just not. I'm just not. Unless it is a case where you have a clinical diagnosis of depression or things like that. And I do understand that there are people who suffer from things that are out of their, oftentimes out of their control. There are chemical imbalances with our body or whatever. So I get that. But there's also help for that too. And so if I want to focus on the solution, if I know that I'm not feeling my best self, what am I doing to get the help that I need?
Absolutely.
And understanding and realizing that I can't, if I want, the definition of insanity is expecting a different result, but yet you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. No, we appreciate you, booby. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for answering the call. See, and that's what I'm talking about. That goes back to what we were talking about those building the relationships and networking and, having people in your circle who, if I call you and I need you, you just, you know what I'm saying? You there. You see what
Hi.
I'm saying? And that's why it's so important. It's so important to circle yourself and surround yourself with the appropriate people who will answer the call for you. Just like our brother Booby just did, you
Right.
know. But focusing on the solutions. We're not gonna wallow in sorrow. We're not gonna continue to delve in and to dive in and harsh on what shoulda, coulda, but didn't, what already happened in the past. If we moving forward and we are progressing and we are learning to love and we are trying to move forward, a good brother of mine, King of Joy, he is a really, really dope content creator on the app, and he's a truck driver, and he used the analogy earlier on his panel where he said, here is my rear view mirror. If you look in the rear view mirror, that
Come
rear view mirror is very, very small. It is looking back. He was like, but if you look at your mirror in the front, that mirror right there in that dashboard, you see how big it is, how huge it is
biggest window on the
for
truck.
you to see everything that's coming. It's huge. It's big. So why are we focusing so much? Yes, we do need to pay attention to it. We do need to pay attention to it, but we don't. That's not where our focus should be on. Our
Exactly.
focus shouldn't be on that little rear view mirror. It
Absolutely.
don't need to even be on those side mirrors. We need to be focusing on what's going forward. We moving forward. Let's focus on what's to come and
Absolutely.
not what happened in the past.
Listen, especially when we think about it too, because your past, yeah. The reason why you have that reflective mirror and those side mirrors is so you can make sure that your past, that the things behind you ain't catching up with you. And the reason why
Ain't catching up with you.
window
Yes.
is so big, right? The reason why that driver's window or the windshield is so big is
Absolutely,
because
Booby.
your possibilities, right? So if something is coming up behind you real quick, the reason why you get to see everything in front of you so clearly, that's why they got them windshield wipers so you can keep it clear, right? The reason why is so you can get out the way. Because sometimes when
That's
things
right.
from our past are catching up with us, we just got to swerve over. We got to pull over and
That's right.
go past. When the
Yep.
squad coming from
That's
behind you and something urgent is going on, they don't want you to run faster than them. They want you to get out their way, right? So sometimes you just got to get
right.
out the way of the stuff that's in your past. You got to be willing to let
That's
it go
right.
and stay
That's
focused.
right.
Like she said, focusing on the solution. If you are so busy wallowing in the problem, there is no solution. If all you can see is the problem, baby, listen, we know the problem. We know what happened. Even when we think about situations with people, I always look at it like this because from birth, I've been a very solution based person. I cannot and will not ever sit in a problem, not with myself nor with anyone else. It's just not happening, right? And so
Right.
for me,
Right.
when I look at my encounters with people, because that's typically the hardest, like I can manage and regulate myself, but it's the encounters with other people that tend to be the hardest for me to deal with because I can't snap my finger and make them snap out the problem, right? So I
Yes.
implement like these little steps for myself where I say, you know what, I got three suggestions. So if a person comes to me with a problem and I'm like, oh, well, did you try this? And they're gonna come back and say, well, no, da 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 da. Okay, cool. But did you try this? And they're gonna say no, da 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 da. Okay, last strike. Did you try this? And they're gonna say no, da 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 da. So that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna empower.
Mm.
I'm gonna go ahead and empower you. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and empower you to go on over there. Go on and figure out what it is that you need to figure out. Because clearly I'm not the person. Because what I'm not gonna do is waste my time giving
Hey,
you
Brooks.
solutions and help only for you to waste my time ultimately. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
what I was
Right.
saying when
Right.
you have these situations with people and now you have a problem, like let's say me and Tiff get into it, or I say something to Tiff and it rub her the wrong way and she like, hold on. Or Tiff do something to me and rub me the wrong way and I'm like, wait a minute. What we have to realize is look, at the end of the
Hey, Joey.
she said what she said. I felt how I felt, and it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? So again, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
They said what they said. They did what they did.
Mm-hmm.
That's done.
Mm-hmm.
There's no there's no changing that. There's no apology. There's no nothing that's changing that. So that's done. So now I feel how I feel because my feelings are valid and I'm entitled to. And that's respectable. There's no change in that. So now we've reached the point where it is what it is. So all cards out, it is what it is. So now I'm going to move accordingly. I'm not going to sit in the. So if it's something that I did, okay, then I'm now educated. I just don't do it. I won't do it no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to be willing to focus on the solution and not keep rehashing the problem because a lot of times that's when we
Yes.
get beating a dead horse, is what people say.
Yes.
Keep bringing up the problem over and over again. Well, Tiff, you said you was going, PK with me and you didn't show up. Well, Tiff, you said you was going to do this. Okay, that was 2 weeks ago. Why are we still talking about it? She said she's sorry.
Why we still, yeah, yeah,
Right?
we over that.
Yeah.
But I do want to acknowledge what Booby said. I've learned that oftentimes the hardest part is agreeing on what the problem even is, and that yeah, and sometimes we don't understand what the problem is. But here is what I will say, that when we don't understand what the problem is, that's where we need to be self-reflective. We got to be self-reflective, right? And unfortunately, we cannot we can't change the other person, right? But we can change who we are, and we can change our reaction to them, and even be proactive in how we deal with them in the future. You get what I'm saying? So what I will say to that is, when we don't know what the problem is, but that goes back to what I'm saying about being in good counsel. You got to be around. I was my good girlfriend, my best friend. Um, she was in Mexico this entire weekend. She was just like, you said you got that from Sarah James Roberts. See, yeah, that's my girl. All right, Sarah James. Yeah, I know you said James. I knew you was talking about
We
Sarah
got.
James. But what? My girlfriend, she went to Mexico for a bachelorette weekend, and I was invited to go. But you know how you just know that if I go, it's gonna be some drama.
Mm-hmm.
And in my heart of hearts, and that's the beautiful discernment, gift of discernment that I have, that God just allows me to kind of see. I knew from the offset, because the people that we were going with, it's not our typical circle,
Right.
right? And I am very keen on traveling with people that I don't know.
Right.
If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make sure that I got somebody. So she went, and the entire time, when I tell you she done text me and called me 100,000 times, I would hate to see what her bill is when she when she done, because she done called me 100,000 times just because, yeah, just because she, because she was miserable being there. She was like, "Oh my gosh, your presence is definitely missed." She was like, because, and so there was a whole squabble about the fact that she didn't want to hang with them. They wanted to take some pictures, and she was like, "I'm married. I'm not about to take no bathing suit pictures or no bathing suit with these women half naked, because I got a husband that I got to come back to."
Right.
Yeah, right, booby. I'll drive myself. I'll fly myself. So I say all of that to say, booby, is making sure that you have a circle of people who truly know who you are. And even if it is a situation where you are not your whole self, if it's a situation where you're not 100%, they still know you enough to validate you when you ain't right. Will check you when you ain't right, but still love on you and still impart love to you and impart support to you. So you know what I'm saying? So we gotta be in that situation, in that situation, in that circumstance. And so she called me, she was like, "Hey, can you talk me off this cliff? Like, am I wrong?" And I said, "No, you're valid in how you feel. You absolutely valid in how you feel." And
Absolutely.
I know that if you're not your whole self in that moment, it's okay. And so that goes right into, so I'm gonna stop talking, because that's gonna go right into our very last topic, which is all about my sister here, for real, for real.
I'm not too familiar with this topic, but I'm gonna try.
Girl, stuff.
I don't.
You ain't familiar with this topic.
Self care is something that's really new to me, so I'm gonna try to bless y'all with something really quick. Um, they say that self care is not a luxury. Let me quit playing with y'all. Y'all listen, self care is not a luxury. Okay, period. You got to pour into you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay, you cannot move about the cabin freely helping other people if you yourself ain't got no oxygen. Chris Brown and them said, "How I'm supposed to breathe with no air?
Right, booby, right.
How I'm supposed to breathe with no air? Right? So you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And when we think of self care, it cannot be one aspect, right? It cannot be, oh, I go to the gym every day, baby. That's nice, that's cute, but what's your head about? How your spirit? You see what
For
I
sure,
mean?
booby.
So you got to make
So,
sure that you, yes, yes, I'm in. So you've got to make sure that you are healing yourself holistically. So you've got to tap into your
mhm,
spiritual self care, your mental, your physical, your
yes,
social, right? Because we can't just alienate ourselves. Even if you're an introvert, baby, you need people.
yes,
And the
yes.
reason why most of us are introverted is because we got
Hey,
trust
Atlanta.
issues. Most of us are introverts because we have trust issues, because when we have stepped out on a limb, or when we were in the
Hey, Jim.
circle with other people, they let us down. And so we've you know, secluded ourselves and things like that. So we need people. Listen, right? First name self, last name care. Ask somebody. Google it. Google it. Okay. So but seriously,
And see, and we ain't talking about South Carolina.
her, her. So, so no, seriously though, you have to make sure that you're filling your cup up. Like I always tell everybody, your day needs to start with self care for you. Self care. Take care of yourself. First thing in the morning. And then at the end of the day, your day needs to also end with you. And, self care is something as simple as having a attitude of gratitude, waking up and being thankful,
Yes.
grateful for the things that you have, right? As you aspire to get the things that you want. But if you're not thankful for what you have, then you're never going to achieve these things that you want because you're not even grateful for the things that you have in the moment. So again,
Right.
you've got to make sure that you're doing these things to pour into your cup. He was talking about
Right.
gratitude and gratitude this morning. Listen, you got to be thankful for the opportunity to just be thankful, okay?
I know that's right.
Just
I
just for
know that's right.
just for the opportunity
Amen.
of being thankful.
Yes.
And
Yes.
every morning now more than ever, like some of you know, like I've talked about it before. My mother-in-law is dealing with some dementia right now. And so now more than ever, I wake up in the morning thankful and grateful to be in my right mind, right? To still get to make decisions on my own. Thank you. To be able to move freely, right? I'm not using a cane. I'm not using a wheelchair. I'm not using these things, right? So yes, honey, this body hurt. This 45-year-old body hurt. It aches. Things crack. And that listen, these things be thanging over here, y'all. But I'm still thankful and grateful for this body because I know that it could be worse. And I know that at any given moment it could get worse. So I always wake up thankful and grateful for, my family, right? Knowing that everybody else is here and safe because I know that somebody else, like I've got a son, I know somebody else's son didn't make it home, right?
Facts,
I'm
booby.
just thankful and I'm thankful and grateful for that. The bones cracking, honey, that means there's still some life left in them. So I'm gonna
That's
just get
right.
up and I'm gonna rub some icy hot and I'm gonna wrap that knee and I'm gonna limp on until I can't limp on no more. But I'm still thankful and grateful for that. And so, and then, to be able to breathe on our own. Listen, in 2020, we was all afraid not to be able to breathe. We was all afraid to
That's
be
right.
tied to them ventilators. So use that same
That's right.
humbleness and gratitude now that COVID is not such a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Just I don't know. Like I said, I think the biggest thing with self care is the gratitude piece. Just being thankful and grateful for the things that we have. Um, the people that we have in our life, not taking them for granted, and not wasting their time. If I'm gonna be on some foolishness, I'm gonna just roll out and be on some foolishness myself. I'm not gonna drag everybody else with me. If ever there was a time to be an introvert, it would be when you out there on some foolishness. Just go on and do it yourself. Don't drag everybody else down with you. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm very big on being having my attitude of gratitude and also having respect for my time and other people's time. And so
Yes.
everybody always talks about how intentional I am about self-care. I have no qualms with telling people that self-care changed my life. And I know it could do the same for you if that's what you're into, but I mean, if not, that's cool. That's on you because self-care changed my life, period. And because of that, and because I know the power of pouring into myself, I have now been very, very intentional about who I allow to experience me. Because
Yes.
decided,
Ain't no cap.
I decided that I'm not for everybody. So I limit my time, I limit my exposure to people. That's on a business level, that is on a social level, that's on a personal level. Hell, my own family don't get my time sometimes because I'd be like, y'all ain't for the right things. I ain't got time for y'all today. So, I mean, again, make sure that you're taking the time to really pour into yourself. All of these tips that we shared today are forms of self care. The setting your boundaries,
Yeah.
building, communities, furthering your education, being driven, solution based and not focused on the problem. That's changing your mindset, thinking more positive, building your confidence, being organized, right? All of these things are tips for self care that we all should be doing. And ultimately, that will help us to shift from being pressured and trying to juggle the pressure that everybody keeps serving us to then moving into a space of applying pressure where, you know what? I'm gonna take all of this mess what we told y'all the last time. All of this mess, and I'm gonna turn it into a message. I'm gonna turn all this pain, all this hurt, and I'm gonna use it for my power, right? All these little tests I done been through, about to be my testimony, because I got places to go. I got people to teach, right? So I'm going to use every single thing that has happened to me until now. All of these things that happen to us in life, all of these stepping stones, y'all, these things are happening for us. It's not happening to us. It's happening for us. And it's happening for us in a sense that I just lost my train of thought. That quick, I just lost it. It's happening in the sense that when we think about it, okay, I'm 45 years old. I've got 45 years of weapons that were formed against me, and none of them prospered, right? So if I think about all the mess, all the stress, all the headache,
Thank you, babe.
all of these things that I've accumulated, you know what I'm saying, over the years that were meant to destroy me. And y'all ain't even got enough time for me to even tell y'all all those things, right? It'll be a book one day, don't worry. But all of these weapons that were formed against me, none of them prospered. So I can say
Prosper.
I 100% successfully beat every single thing that was meant to destroy me over the last 45 years. And I mean, why would I stop now? Why would I
Right.
stop now? What's the point in stopping now? Thank you, Blue. Why would I quit now? So yeah, like I preach. Listen, I believe wholeheartedly in self care so much that I left my job. I no longer work for someone else. I left my job, changed my lifestyle completely for me first and foremost because I had to know it in order to teach it. So I completely changed every single thing about who I was. That meant I changed the wife that I was. It meant I changed the mother that I was. It changed the friend that I was. I done lost friends. I done lost families. Honey, I didn't lose them. They lost me. Period. They lost me, and I'm okay with that. But so I know that self care can really have a positive impact, and I had to have the courage to keep going because it got lonely. Right, Tiff?
Right.
It's lonely,
It did.
but it's nice out
Certainly.
here. And so I can
It's nice out
it
there.
alone because it's nice.
Well, my last little thoughts, and then I absolutely got to get off because I am still a part of corporate America, and I got a 2:30.
For now.
But for now,
She
for
one
now,
movie away. Y'all, she one movie
I'm one movie
away
away.
from quitting that
I'm
job.
one movie away. We speaking that into existence, Lord. I am
Amen.
one movie away. But the definition of applying pressure, and I'm gonna end it with this, is to overcome obstacles and to excel with a level of finesse, a level of skill, a level of perfection at any given task due to an individual's brute willpower. Period. It is oftentimes at the expense of sleep. Occasionally, you might lose some friends, you might lose some family, you may not have as much free time as you want, but at the end of the day, you are doing what you need to do to obtain an overall goal. And it is about your brute willpower. Yes, that's what I wanted you to get out of this. Applying pressure is about your brute willpower. That means that you will stop at no cost to obtain the goal, to obtain the responsibility to do what you need to do.
Right.
That God, the big thing is now, make sure that it's divinely ordered now. It ain't what you want, and it's what God has for you. That's the key. But needless to say, at the end of the day, you apply pressure based off of your willpower. So where do you place your power? Where do you place your power? Hey, cheating, where do you place your power? What have you aligned yourself with? What are you giving power to that ain't for you? Stop giving too much power. Stop applying pressure to things that ain't really tangible for you. it's not obtainable for you. If it's not going to get you to your ultimate goal,
Baby, listen.
I'm out. I'm gone.
Listen.
That's what applying pressure is.
Listen, and he also said we're gonna end with this. He also said my well-being and welfare is not determined is not just determined by who I am, but equally impacted by where I am. So some
Yes.
we got what we need inside of us, right? Like we have the knowledge, we've got all of this, but we keep sitting in the wrong places. And so,
Yes.
in order for us to truly achieve what he has out there for us, sometimes we just got to get up out of these spaces and these places with people. We got to get out of these dark spaces where we're sad and we're depressed and we're miserable, and we got to go out there and get it.
Yes.
Right? We can't just talk about
Yes.
it. We can't just have a plan. We got to actually get up and go put that plan in action. So again, just remember that
Yes.
your welfare and your well-being is not just determined by who you are as a person, but equally impacted by where you are,
Where you are.
the place
Where you are.
you're hanging out in, the people that you're
Yes.
hanging out with.
The people you hanging with. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Can't fool up with
Yep.
all of them.
Yep. Can't fool up with everybody. And as they say, every level creates a new devil.
Baby,
So remember that. So as you all are leveling up, new devils will arise.
absolutely.
How strong are you to succumb and overcome those things? And that will show what your brute willpower is. That will that will show you how you go from being able to handle pressure to being able to apply pressure. That's all we got, y'all.
All 20.
That was we went over the hour, but it's all good.
Yes.
That was our hour of power. Y'all know I always end my lives with this in this fashion. And I will say this today. I love you. God loves you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, love you, sis. And
I love
thank you to
you,
the THC family for pulling up. Oh my gosh.
Casey.
Y'all are absolutely amazing. Booby, Low Diggs, Mr. T, Mr. MJ himself, Lady Blue, Kale came through.
Brielle,
Oh my gosh, so many of our THC family
awesome.
came through
Mr.
to
Awesome
love and support
too.
us. Mr. Awesome came slid through on
Yes.
your end. So we just appreciate our THC family for pulling up. Y'all, that's one thing I can't say about this.
Mr.
Y'all
Jackson.
always show up.
Mr. Jackson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. MJ.
Hey,
MJ.
wait.
MJ. MJ.
Yeah.
Talking about, I really almost missed it. It's okay, Booby, but you came in and you got what you
Right
needed.
on
You
time.
came in and you got what you needed. So we just appreciate our THC family more than anything because, again, we are all, we're all content creators, right? And in our own right, we all doing our own thing. But it feels good to know that we have family, that we have created our Hanai family to
Absolutely.
be able to come and to love on us. And that's the whole point of the name THC. That's why we're here. We've created this family, and we appreciate each one of y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and log off because I got a meeting to go to.
Yes,
Peace and
ma'am.
blessings, everybody.
Love you, Tiff.
Love you more. Talk to y'all later.